Hi. Okay, so I've decided to take on a project to automate my sprinkler system outside in my lawn, and I have decided to do that with using my home assistant and Sonoff. First things first, I need to connect the home assistant. I need to set up the watering system. So the way I was thinking about doing it is using a solenoid valve. They're pretty good. Of at least the, the research that I've been doing online, it looks like these things work. So we'll start with this nice diagram. Everything starts with planning. So I've got my garden tap. That's here. That is little on me. So what I need to do, because solenoid valve cannot be up in the air, so it needs to be on the ground. So I need to extend the tap to the ground where I'll need to connect the solenoid valve. So the way I'm doing it, I'm using a tap, garden tap nut and tail to connect to my garden, connect directly to my tap, and then I'm going to use a poly pipe that will come down to the ground, use an elbow and extend that just so the valve is a little bit away from the main water system, just in case poly pipe solenoid valve is connected, and then the output end I've attached another poly pipe. Solenoid valve is operated on 24 volts, so that's a 24 volt connector, so I need an adapter in between. And then the Sonoff is connected to the main power, which is outputting around 220 volt, which will be converted into 24 volt to turn on the solenoid valve. This Sonoff will be connected to my home assistant, and I will be controlling the home assistant. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what the diagram is. So really what we need for this to work is, again, planning first. Couple of things. So obviously poly pipes, so I'm planning on buying this one, and we'll need a bunch of connectors. Then a solenoid valve, which is this guy here. This is a Holman solenoid valve, pretty cheap, 20 bucks, should do the job. Obviously an elbow, so this elbow like this, okay. And then what else do I need? Yes, so this is the tap nut and tail. I don't know why they call it nut and tail, but it's just the term. I found it in Bunnings. So that's how, in theory, things are going to work. Okay, so then the next stop, we're going to use this Sonoff. But anyway, first things first, we'll need to flush it. So I'll use Tasmoda firmware to flush this Sonoff basic, and then also I'll need to wire it up using the extension cord that I have. So that's how it looks like, Sonoff basic. For now I'll use this, but I have a plan to, if this one works pretty, it's kind of falling off. If this one works well, then I'll replace this with Sonoff Mini. But for now, this will have to do. And the way I'm going to flush it is using one of these. So this is a USB to serial FTDI adapter, and I've already connected the pins. So there's 4 pins that I've connected because Sonoff can take only 4. So people shoulder it. I don't think shouldering is important. For me, I'm just going to do it once, and probably another. If it works alright, I'll never have to shoulder it again. If it breaks, I'll throw it off, I'll buy another one, and then I'll do the same thing again. So I don't really need to shoulder it. So the 3 volt, as I was mentioning, 3 volt will go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's all in. I haven't plugged it in the laptop yet. So when I do that, in order for it to be in the flashing mode, I'll need to press this button, plug it in, and then release it. Then it will be in the programming mode. So we'll do that in a bit, and then I'll switch over to laptop screen recording mode. Okay, so now I've given the configuration my Sonos username and password. So now that's done, I need to go in the Home Assistant and give in the Home Assistant configuration, the YAML. I need to give in a few more. Okay, so I've launched my Home Assistant and then the code. Okay, so in my Home Assistant I have added a third configuration, which is apart from two of my other switches. Sonos follows the same topic as I've configured in the Wi-Fi. Watch Dr. Z's video for more details on this, and that's how you sort of configure the new Sonos switch. And if I go to overview, I've added a new card, and that's where the switch appears. So the way I've added it is I went to configure, and then you go new, and it is, I believe, new entity, and you add it. So that's how I've added the animation. So if I turn it on, I can see my lights turn green, turn off, it turns off. So that's it. That's how I've configured this on off on my home automation home assistant. Next up, we'll look into how I would fit that in the solenoid valve. So I'll measure up how much distance is from the tap. So the solenoid pump valve probably goes somewhere here. So what I need to do, I also need to measure up the distance from my power point. So I've got a 2 meter extension cable. Yeah, that's a good distance. Right about here. So this on-off switch. So this is the on-off switch. So that will go somewhere here. So I'll mark it. So I'll cut it somewhere there, and that gives us a bit of room. If I ever need to, I can always extend that pipe. It's not a PVC pipe. It is. There's something called a poly pipe. So this one, I bought it from Bunnings. If I ever need to, I can always extend it. But for now, that's what I will measure. So that will give me a lot of breathing room. Okay, so I went to Bunnings and bought a bunch of other stuff as well. So I have two of these pipes, poly pipe. The main reason I bought it is I don't have to cut it too much. If I do cut it, then it's easier to cut because it's quite soft, and I don't have to apply a lot of glues, so they could just go in. So I need to buy a bunch of connectors. So we'll start first. So this is the solenoid valve that I bought. It was for about 20 Australian dollars. Yeah, it's very basic. It has got some sort of flow control, manual on and off.
I still have to figure out how to do that. The important thing is this is 24 volt, I believe. Yes, written somewhere here. That is 24 volt. The main idea, anyway. So that's the solenoid valve, and the way it's going to connect. And this is the valve cover. So we need to get one of these anyway. It's called irrigation control valve. Yeah, it's like a cover. So and then there's this bunch of connectors here. It's the receipt. So the way it's going to work is, because this valve is not waterproof, so it needs to sit under cover, something like this, right? And for my tap, it needs to be on the ground. The tap is up high on the wall. We'll show the details in a bit. And the pipe will need to go like this. Now the thing with these pipes is these connectors, so these ones, I can just push them in and they will get stuck. So that's a good thing. I don't have to use a lot of glues. So the way I imagine so far the plan is how it's going to work is I'm going to attach one of these connectors at one end, another one on the other end, so that the pipe can come in. So this is the input zone. There is a small arrow that says where the flow goes. So the pipe will come in, the input pipe will come in like this, and the output will go like that. It's pretty basic plumbing for irrigation. So that's how the valve will sit. This two connector is like that. Then I'll have to make an elbow shape because the tap sits on the wall. So I have to pipe it down to the ground and then elbow another pipe to the solenoid valve. So this is what I found. I don't know if okay, so as I was mentioning that these connectors are pretty easy to connect to these pipes. So basically what you do is you grab one of these, and this is the end that you just need to as you can see, it's very tight, but there is very little room for water leakage, so it probably doesn't need any gluing or anything, unlike PVC pipes, so they're okay. So that's how one end to the solenoid pipe has gone in. Now I need to measure the other pipe. I'll bring it in. That will go something like this, and will attach to my tap. So what I'll do is I'll connect one end anyway. So 2 rings will go in, one for this end, one for the other end. Now I'll have to go and measure the pipe. Okay, so as we measured earlier, I've already cut the pipe using this knife. As I said, these are not PVC pipes, so they are pretty easy to cut. So that's done. Okay, so we already have flushed our Sonoff with Tasmora. So the next thing to do is wire it up with the main power cable. So this is how I'm going to do it. For mine, different people take different approaches, but that's my approach. So in Australia, I believe this is live. The grey color one is live. The blue color one is neutral, and the green is earth. So what I'll do, this Sonoff only caters for input. So it only caters for neutral and live. So I'm going to join the earth on the other end. So the earth is not going to go through this on-off, only neutral and live is. Thing is important. The on-off, once the cover goes on, we can't put this thickness in there. So the only thing that needs to go is the wiring. So we need to provision for it. So I'm giving it this much space. So I'll cut it from here. Okay, so now that our Sonoff is all connected to the main wire, at least we wired it, now it's time to test the solenoid valve. So the solenoid valve I just discovered, which I didn't see before, is 24 volt, whereas the main power outputs 220 to 240 volt AC, and the solenoid is 24 volt AC. So you need an adapter. So I just got it from JCar. This is a 24 volt, the 24 volt AC to AC adapter. Let's open it up. They just make it difficult for no reason. Actually, there is a reason. Because in the ground, where there's a danger of exposing it to the water, and it's not a good idea to give high voltage. But they could have made it 12 volt easily. I don't know why it has to be 24 volt, because the normal adapter that you get for your small devices, they're all 12 volts. I've got a bunch of 12 volts adapters sitting around. What I don't have is a 24 volt adapter, so I had to go in and buy one, and this one costed me a fair bit of money, so better work. Alright, so let me bring in my solenoid valve. I've got my Home Assistant open. So what I need to do there, and I've already hooked up the on-off switch, called it on-off water 01. So if I turn it on, this on-off will kick off. This on-off is connected to the mains, and the solenoid valve, I've hooked it up with the adapter connected to this on-off. So we'll see if this works. So we'll hear a sound. Yep, that's all working. So test complete. Now what is left is hooking it up with the main water and see it working. Okay, so I've already connected the main water to the solenoid pump, and the way I've connected this on off is, this is my main power. Just for safety reason, I put a bridge there. So if any sort of short circuit happens, then that bridge will disconnect it. So it's just a safety mechanism. Sonoff is now powered, and the solenoid valve is powered from the extension cord that Sonoff is attached to. Did you get that? Can you bring it closer? So it's all connected now. I've just turned on the power. So Sonoff is online. It has connected to my Wi-Fi, and the solenoid valve is connected from there. That's the wiring. I still need to put in a gel cap there, and that's how I've connected the main water. So I've got the pipe. I don't know what's it called. Poly something pipe. So the connector connecting to the tap water. Then I've got elbow connected. It goes to solenoid valve, and then I have. So this is what I was using before. It's like a manual timer, and I don't want to use it anymore. So this will go away at some point, but for now I've just put it on manual mode. So, and the water flow is controlled by the solenoid valve, and solenoid valve is connected to my Home Assistant. So I'm just going to turn it on. So that's my Home Assistant, and I've got water there. See if I turn that one on, water comes in, one goes to my soaker and it's plugging in, and the other one I've got it on hold. Yay! It's all working. If I switch it off, flow gone. Switch on, water comes in. Cool. So that's the solenoid valve connected, and then I can control it from anywhere. And I've got a cloud application that I'm working on. So what that application will do, the moment I turn it on, it will send the data in the cloud, and the cloud application will analyze the weather pattern and will automatically switch it on and switch it off. So that's a project for another day. We'll walk you through once I start on that one.